Me and my son Hunter, we'd like to send our sympathies to Lavoy's parent, mom, wife, family, and his mom and dad. And we're truly sorry that Harney County had the balls to take the life of a good man. We honor you, and we say anytime you're in near Harney County, our home is welcome to you, and you can stop by and have a couple glass of water or whatever. We're always welcome. Lavoy's family. God loves you. God bless you.
I had the opportunity to meet Lavoy too, so and I agreed with what you were saying. So he's a great man, and he was a very godly man, and he also knew the Constitution. And with everything that happened to him, he maintained a high moral ground. And I believe everyone that has that I've met since I've been out here has held that ground, and I think it will continue to be held because that's just who we all are out here. So,
Very true.
Yeah, very true.
and I'm standing here between a father and son here.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah. First off, me and my son, we honor the Constitution of the United States. We stand by its principles and what it states. It was written for us common men. It wasn't written for lawyers and politicians that pad their pocket off the sweat of our brow. It's time to take our country back, people. Look in Burns, Oregon, at the Constitution being destroyed by our politicians. Look what Steve Grasky, Dave Ward, has done. Dave Ward has surrendered our county to the politicians, the corporate bankers, the corporate politicians that want to do nothing but destroy our county. You call it your free land? Sorry, it's not your land. It's not our land anymore. The government is taking it over. The government will control it, and we will not be able to use it. So people, come together, fight this government, or we will lose the right to use our land. It will become their land.
And I want to, this whole thing of this divide and conquer what the mainstream media tries to put out there. So, I mean, I'm here to kind of dispel that, and I think you guys recognize, where I'm coming from with all that too. So, I want to say to all of you out there, we're all Americans, we're all people, and you need to stop letting the mainstream control the narrative out there. We all need to work together, and I will continue to stress that. I've been stressing it for years now, and I'm just glad to be here to assist as best I can.
We're brothers and sisters, as we're brothers and sisters. Color don't matter, people.
That's right.
But color don't matter. The color issue the government is trying to portray is to divide us and separate us. But we stand together, white men, black men. We are brothers, and we are united under one cause, freedom. Freedom of all. We don't want to be slaves to the government. We don't want to be slaves to anybody. The UN, United Nations, to Uranium One, or to Hillary Clinton. We are Americans, and we stand together. Black, white, Asian, the Native Americans.
Thank you. I was going to say we need to mention that aspect. We saw a couple of Paiute women downtown tonight, and I'll tell you what, they've missed the boat. They're out there being really abusive during the roll-on tonight,
Roll-on,
right?
yeah.
With the civil disobedience, right?
How many people were out at the rollout, by the way?
Oh man, I don't know. There's quite
Hundreds.
Come on, guys.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I bet you in the
I don't know
neighborhood,
when they started. At least a couple hundred for sure.
Yeah.
It was at Rite Aid.
Yeah.
It filled up their parking lot.
I missed that. I seen some of them on YouTube, and I'm like, man. But you know what? There's another one tomorrow.
Yep.
And then Monday?
Monday should be.
Oh,
Okay.
my goodness.
Well,
Yeah.
People are waking up and they're just tired of it. It's not. I mean, this is I guess you could say the epicenter of this. Based upon everything that's been happening. But every single county is affected, and this is not just a Harney County issue. It's every single county across the United States. I like saying these United States, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the founding fathers did, right?
And when we talk of the government, it is an it. It's not a them. It's not ours or nothing. It's an it. Government is an entity of the corporation. So we got to start that. And as to you liberals that cut down and criticize and ridicule and spin what the Bundys have done in this country, you don't know shit. You don't know nothing.
Can we say that? I guess, yeah, you can
We-
say
I
that.
can
say that.
Say whatever you
They're
want to say.
full
I'm
of
a free
what?
American.
The government's full of what? Did I hear that right? The government's full of what?
Yep.
That's your dad, huh?
Hunter, how do you feel on that?
The government's supposed to represent the people, and they're not representing the people anymore. They're representing themselves, and they're doing whatever they want. And they're just stomping all over the people.
And that's coming from a young man, okay, who understands.
Well, look who he's raised by. I mean,
Well,
come on.
yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, he's lucky. How many young men out there don't have the luxury of a father because of what this government's done?
Yes.
I mean, it ain't. I mean, that's what I see.
Yes.
You know. Well, also, you know, Monday will be a rollout on the feds peacefully, but that's what we did with the 3%. Is rolled out on them peacefully, but with firm resolve, and that's
Well, the
what.
resolution was delivered, you know,
Yeah.
and every administrative process has gone through. I mean, but it's totally ignored. You know, they did that press conference, and they was it well everyone Grassi, is that what it was?
Grasty.
And Ward, you know, they're acting as though they did everything they could do. No, they didn't. They didn't address that at all. And it's been asked several times for them to address the issue, and they just flat refuse.
And they're hiding.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't even go to our county courthouse. They've got a line. If you cross between those two cones, they approach you with an M16 machine gun with their finger on the trigger. We did a protest. God love this. An old man, 80 years old, standing out there with a sign that says assassination, ambush of the American, of a true American. And they had the balls to send out their snipers with long rifles to watch us. If we made a mistake, they were going to take us down. The county courthouse is bombarded, is occupied. The true occupiers that have occupied and armed to kill American soldiers was not the Bundys. It is the United States government. It is the FBI.
Well, it's
It is the
people within
sheriff.
government. I think we still need to. I know.
Yeah.
But it's not the government, because they always want to label us to be an anti-government. So
We're not
it's
anti-government.
not anti-government, but you know what? The fraud and corruption that happens by some of these rogue people in there that are so power hungry, that's where the problem lies. And it's our fault because we've allowed them to do what they're doing.
We've just turned our backs too long.
That's It's
We've
about,
turned our backs too long and just tucked our heads like maybe it'll just get by this generation and pass on to the next generation. It'll be their problem. Well, it's about time to take our own stand and stop them from just walking over top of us.
absolutely.
Yep.
Legally, lawfully, constitutionally,
Yeah.
and peacefully.
So, gentlemen, what do you think about all the evidence we've heard from the two girls' statement now that it's all come out? Isn't that something?
That's pretty damning, because I'll tell you what, their key witnesses separated, and their stories.
Did you all three of you gentlemen know her and met her?
Yeah, I was fortunate to meet
Victoria?
both
Yeah, Victoria
and her
and
family,
Yeah.
as well as Shauna. Yes.
We met him down at the refuge.
And Victoria is an 18-year-old girl with the most angelic voice you'll ever hear. And you know, she didn't need to see that. And it's going to live with her her whole life.
Yeah.
You know, if you had anything to say to the good officers out there, what would it be to the good officers?
It's time that the officers that believe in the Constitution of the United States stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up to the corruption. We call upon you to come to Harney County and represent us. We need good men. We need men that believe in the Constitution. We don't need chickens. The chickens can go home and roost. Go back to Barack Obama. And,
Spoken like a true cowboy, you know. Behind you is everything from a ranch. What is that up
Texas,
there?
Texas Longhorn.
That's a what?
Texas Longhorn.
That's a Texas Longhorn. And we have a couple of rifles on the wall. Looks like Matt Dillon's home. Look at there. I think, folks, these are real cowboys.
You
These
can't get
even
any more
real.
real than this, right?
You ain't
Now
gonna
you got
get
the
any.
hat. Check that out. Yeah.
That's all right. We forced it on you.
There we go. guys. Thank you. And thanks for, thank you.
Hey, on the last note, what would you like to say to the American people about Monday, and what can they do to come to Burns? Is there anything that they can do?
I ask of you people to stand up to the Constitution. If you can make it, great. If you can't, pray for us.
Yeah.
We have something going on here that is militarily corrupt, that is corrupt by the federal government and the corporate government. We have more military assets here. Why? Why do they all need to come into Harney County? They're here to stop the American people and show the people of America, you stand up to us, we will destroy you. We are living in fear. The only fear that's been in Harney County since the start of it is brought on to us by the cops, the federal agent, and our own county fathers. How dare the county fathers that receive our money stand against the Constitution and stand against the United States people?
And we're not even sure if they're proper. I mean, we know the FBI, that is an agency. It's a corporate agency. De facto, I like saying. We don't even know if they're actually who they say they are. You know, there's talk of them being like these, what do they call them? Like, well, we got the Blackhawks.
Mercenary soldiers.
Yeah, mercenaries.
What they have is floating field agents that can put a Velcro patch of.
When that incident happened, when Lavoy got murdered, what came to mind when I heard that reminded me of Kennedy, you know, the president, right? It's like they did to him to say, if you hold this office, if you don't do what you're told, this is what happened. That was a shock. That was something to warn every other president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By them doing what they did to Lavoy, that is along the same lines. Basically saying, if you speak up, you love the Constitution, you believe in God, you know, basically this is what's going to happen to you. Do not come against us, or you'll be killed.
Generals, the United States generals in the military,
Where are they
officers, where are you at? We let a man lay there in the snow while our government associates were laughing as he died. We did not provide aid. We provide aid to enemies on the field. We provide aid to men that try to kill us. But we do not provide aid to an American. How dare you? You say you're a general and you believe in the Constitution, well then show us. Stand with us, Americans. We are lonely, small people. We're a small county. But by God, this is shot that was rang around the world. And to you, murderers, I dare you. Try to take any more, and you will have the wrath of God down your throat so bad that you will be destroyed, and everybody you represent will be destroyed. That I swear to you. God will bring the wrath of the great Almighty down upon you.
Well, history has shown, right? Even though back in the day with the Jewish, the prison camps, and with Hitler, right? All of those that thought they got away just because they were following orders, and then the Nuremberg trials.
Yeah.
So, common law, juries, Article 3 courts, that's the only way this can be resolved, because these guys are not going to, they protect each other. So there is no justice in the courts, not in these de facto courts.
No,
not anymore.
And so it has to be a court of the people.
Yeah.
And that's the other phase.
It has to be a court of the people that was raised in the country lifestyle that are not been
A jury of your peers,
Yeah.
not somebody from the city. that
not
has no
somebody
clue
that's
about
been
it.
from the state that has
It's
no
a jury
idea
of your
what
peers.
actually is
That's your
happening
Sixth
here.
Amendment, right?
yeah. Why did they ship the Bundys to Portland? They should have stayed here. Portland is a socialist city that is totally corrupt. They're corrupt from the start to the bottom. Well, I thank you people for taking the time to watch this video. And I pray for America, and I pray for every one of you, and that your families are safe, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will see freedom. If it means we die for freedom, we'll die for freedom. At least my grandchildren will know that I did stand
Children
for the
and
Constitution.
We didn't let it just happen. We didn't turn our head to it, and we weren't afraid to stand up.
Nicely said.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I'm proud of you, bud. Love you.
Love you.
Love you too, bro. Cool.
Cool. Somebody was getting a phone call.
That's a cool hat. Well,